Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy full moon in Capricorn. So this moon is asking you to release any resistance, and it is not about excuses. So releasing excuses that are preventing you from really diving deep into your soul's work and into the manifestations that you want to see take root in the physical form. And Capricorn is very much it's a strict, can be a little bit restrictive, but it is for your soul's growth. So what areas are you looking to apply discipline and responsibility? And where can you apply more of that structure to your daily life? And Saturn rules Capricorn, and it is also about karma. So whatever you have been putting out, it will come back to you tenfold. So this is really about a structured look at your life and seeing where you can refine details and really persist. Where can you put more energy and persistence in your workings, your manifestations, anything like that? So we're going to get going with some of the audacity today. So Spirit, what does the collective need to know about this full moon in Capricorn? This is also the buck moon. So we have the Lovers. Love that. All right. So, and then we have Perseverance. Very Capricorn. So this could be about your relationships, but the Lovers is also about choice. So where are you choosing to put your energy, your details? Where are you choosing to persevere? Really taking a deep look at that and seeing where you can put that into. Love, yeah, perfect. Okay, so it's looking like for a lot of you, your relationships, your love with yourself and others, because whatever you do for yourself, it comes out with others. And then we have the Revolutionary. Love this energy. Perfect. And then I'm gonna pull a Wild Woman Oracle. I love this deck. So we're gonna kind of see what's going on here. Spirit, what other messages does the collective need to know? November Sanctuary. So this is very much about the home, which earth signs are very much about your home, your 3D world, your sanctuary. So this is really looking at your everyday surroundings and where can you add a bit more structure, but also where can you imbue some of that healing energy? And is what you are working, or your routines working for you, or do they need to be refined? And then we have Witch of the Winter Woods, healing. Yeah, so this is very, very healing on multiple levels. But I feel like a lot of you are really taking a deep look at your relationships and your environments and seeing what needs to be rerouted. Okay, we're going to do a Celtic cross today. Woohoo! All right, so right out the gate, we have the 10 of Wands. And then crossing you is the 9 of Wands. So this is very much a persistent energy too. And what I'm feeling with this is that you are not backing down, or you're not giving up on the things that you have been building. But they are asking you what is working and where can you, that's too many, Spirit. Where can you really start to move your wands? 8 of Wands. Wow, there's a lot of fire in this reading. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have 3 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so looking right out the gate, we have the 10 of Wands crossed by the 9 of Wands. So I'm feeling with this energy that you have been carrying too much, but this is the end of that cycle. This is the end of you carrying more responsibilities than you need to. because this is very much like, I am tired, I need a break, I need to rest. So I feel like a lot of you are coming out of a period where you have been possibly putting too much into the relationship, or the dynamic is just not balanced. And that really is calling for a whole overhaul and seeing where possibly, you can put in a little bit more energy on this side, or the other side can put in more energy here. But I also feel like this is not only within your intimate relationships, but also with your friendships and just your dynamics in general. I feel this is very much like a, where have I been overextending myself type of energy, and where can I pull back to focus on my priorities. And your priorities can be house, home, goals, finances. I don't see any pentacles in here. I actually see a lot of wands, and I see a cup. And so we're coming from a place that just was not feeling very balanced. And at the bottom in the subconscious here, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is somebody who is seeking a lot of passion and a lot of spontaneity. This is the shadow work queen, but this is also the entrepreneurial queen. And then we also have the King of Wands here. So I'm feeling like there needs to be a little bit of spice added to your relationships, and adding in, where can you have a little bit more of that fun and that play and that pleasure, because perhaps it has been too serious. And when things are just a little too monotonous or too serious, it gets dull. So really feeling into, where can we play? Where can we have more fun? Where can we release some of this restriction that we have been feeling? And it's great to work on goals and finances and celebrating your wins, but don't get lost in the routine of that you are feeling lack, because there's a fine balance of that. If you are really grinding and setting up yourself, especially with finances, you can lean into that, well, we have to save this because we have this bill coming up, or anything like that. But I think that they're really asking you to find a good, healthy balance between overextending and to really have fun, but also know where you can kind of come back a little bit. So it's really a balancing act. I want to get more clarity on this moon here. Spirit, why is the moon here? King of Wands again, okay. I'm also getting that some of you are desiring a deeper connection with a masculine force, and more of that pleasure, more of that spontaneity. Okay. And then we have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so really here, and then, okay, clarifying the moon, we have the King of Wands, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Death card. So this feels very much like a death of secrets, a death of not explaining what you want. There's a lot of communicative energy too that is needing to be shifted. So this is really expressing your desires. And with the Moon card here, it can feel like there's a little bit of fear surrounding that. So where are you feeling like you are restricting yourself in your relationships? And how can you really start to open up and expand and have more of that lighthearted, courageous energy? And it's almost like setting the tone of the relationship moving forward. How do you want your relationships to be? And there's a lot of conflict resolution is what I'm hearing. And that's great. I love conflict resolution, but it takes being brave to speak up on what you are dissatisfied with, or where you're feeling some of that lack, and where it can start to bloom and blossom again. And that could be, whether it's taking more trips, going out on dates, just getting out of your routine. And a lot of this can also be, where are you feeling the lack within you? Because there's a really big death and rebirth cycle here that is crowning your energy. And it is a death to those restrictive energies that are leaving you kind of halted in one frame of mind and one way of thinking. And then it's really shining a light on the fears and the illusions and things that have been keeping you chained and kind of trapped. So the Page of Wands is coming up quite a bit. So there's a really big emphasis on doing new things and doing things that really help to spark that creativity in you. And then we have the Eight of Wands and we have the Ace of Cups. So this is really going forward to the things that really help to fill your emotional world. And I really feel like there's a big emphasis on balancing that masculine and feminine, whether it's within you or if it's within your dynamic in your partnership. Because if it starts here, it's going to extend outwards. So really finding the balance between the receiving energy and then also looking at your output. And I'm feeling like there's a big emphasis on sinking into observing the dynamic and seeing how it feels in your body. And ask yourself, is this working for me still, or have I shifted and has the dynamic shifted? Do we need to do something different? Because there's a really big change that is happening here. And it's asking you to lead from more of a heart space, more of that passion and that openness and more of that vulnerability. And I really do feel like you guys are relaying a foundation, or you are ascending in a new way. Like your foundation is good, so now you're starting to work on the emotional aspect of things, which is an amazing place to be. Because if you are not worried about the finances, being in that scarcity mindset, you can focus on your well-being, and that's a beautiful place to be. So I'm gonna get some clarification on this Five of Wands. Spirit, what's going on here with this Five of Wands? Okay, Ace of Pentacles. There's the Pentacle. And get a little bit more. King of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can I get one more, please? Knight of Swords. Okay, and then we have Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. All right, so Five of Wands clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So with this, I feel like if we're going to get down to it, this really is about how you guys are spending your finances. It could be a redirection of your priorities of your finances, and where is your money going? Is it providing more value to you, or are you spending your money and it's not providing a return? This could be about investments, and a new spark of cognitive information leads to new opportunities, new growth. And the King of Pentacles, he is all about his kingdom, his home, his finances. He is the King of Pentacles. He's the king. He knows, he is the investor. He knows what to invest in to produce more fruit and to be more lucrative. So there seems to be a little bit of conflict between this, but it is also about resolution. So resolving the way, sorry, my cat is meowing. So resolving or getting on the same page with the ways that you are spending your money, your habits. Where can you pull back if you guys are eating out? Where can you put a little bit more in since you're not eating out? Where can you invest more for your long-term future? Capricorn is very slow, but it is about the long term. And the King of Pentacles, this is long term. And Pentacles are the slowest moving suit in the deck. So even if you're not seeing results quickly, know that by investing and taking the time to lay down those roots, lay down the foundation, and let it grow, that you will reap the fruits of it later. And this takes a lot of patience and diligence and perseverance, and knowing that you do have to sacrifice in order to get to the Ten of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles, but it starts with one pentacle. So this is the long-term game. This is a long-term strategy. I'm also seeing like a chessboard. So strategizing on how you can build your empire, how you can move or get more land or anything like that. This is very like 3D moves. But it's also about infusing the 3D with the passion. So ask yourself, what is fueling this? What is making me want to make these really sustainable moves and goals in order to get to where I want? Is it because you want a better future for yourself and your children? Or is it because you are just really wanting a solid foundation and you want better for yourself in the future? Whatever it may be, this moon is really highlighting that, and it's highlighting where you can release distractions and where you can release the things that don't matter or don't pertain to your long-term goals. And Capricorn is one of the hardest energies to work with. My North Node is in Capricorn, and I will say that working with the Capricornian energy, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces sun. I'm like, I want to be up in the clouds. I want to be everywhere. I want to be in the stars. But that Capricorn energy asks, how are we going to make that happen? How can you ground your dreams into reality? And are you willing to do the hard work to get there? That is what it's asking. And putting in the time, the money, whatever towards those investments is really going to pay off for you in the future. And knowing that there is prosperity and there is more on the other side if you do the work. So we're going to get a little bit more information. Protection from a powerful friend. I love that. You also have the Three of Cups here. So big emphasis on connections, flowers, happiness, love. And then we have chair filled, someone new is entering your life. And then we have time to go out and have fun, grapes. I love it. So if you guys have been working on something that is not the most fun, like saving money, it's important to notice your wins, notice your successes, and to celebrate that. So if you have hit a milestone, if you have saved 5, 10, 20, 100K, celebrate that. And by you celebrating that, it's also giving spirit the okay to be like, oh, this is really being appreciated. Let's give them more. It's the law of attraction. If you are in gratitude and excitement, the universe will give more of that to you. And it really is amazing to see how you can shift your 3D world and your 3D life in order to really help that sustain your soul. If you are not, again, living in that lack mindset, you have more energy to really redefine the heart space and your soul, your mental body, everything, because you are not grinding to the point of that's the only thing that you're thinking about. And Capricorn is asking you how you can use this energy because it's being used for a better purpose. So Let's get a little advice here. Spirit, what advice is here for the collective? Healing. Expand. Okay, and step back. All right, so what I'm getting from this is being deep in your healing process is going to help illuminate the areas where you can expand and also where you need to step back. That's exactly what this moon is asking you to do, is looking at and illuminating where you are exuding too much of that energy. Where can you pull back to expand in the areas that matter most? And Capricorn is not a fluffy, it's not a fluffy energy. It's the sea goat. It's persistent and it has horns. It's the tough love. It's the granddaddy of the zodiac. And the lessons that you learn from utilizing this energy will help sustain you in the long term. And even though sacrifices may need to be made now, they will reap rewards in the future. And that is the beauty of going through the not so beautiful times, the not so fun times now, in order to have more of it in the future. It's the temporary sacrifice for the long-term gain and happiness. But have fun while doing it. And allow yourself to reap the rewards of that. And it doesn't have to be going out and buying a Maserati. Like, you can show yourself and your partner, your dynamic or whatever, that you are proud of yourself by going and celebrating with, ice cream. Or you can go on a weekend trip to somewhere that you've always wanted to go. If you have the money and the finances, you can go and do that. But just make sure that you are also saving money to put towards your long-term goals, because that's what Capricorn is all about. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to leave it here. I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I am going to go do my ritual tonight. And I really hope that you guys have a beautiful evening and a prosperous life. Blessed be. Bye.